Welcome back to the Labyrinth and the hero's journey. We're into stage 2 now, the road of trials, initiation, confrontation. There are lots of names. Stage 2 is the bulk of the story. We've got our hero into this unfamiliar world, let's show what it can do. In Luke Skywalker's case, we have Jedi powers and mass murder by exhaust port. In Harry Potter, you get a 3-act story arc in each book and an overriding one over the course of the series. In John's case, the bulk of the story is the crime solving, which is also the framing device, but you watch for the interactions between the characters. In Labyrinth, Sarah works her way through said labyrinth and meets Hoggle, the shapeshifter, someone you don't trust but need for information, and the leave your quest tests in the guise of temptations. More on that in a moment. Labyrinth also has a belly of the whale moment, where Sarah ends up in the oubliette. Yonicle symbol, that's symbolic of wombs by the way, and place of forgetting. John's symbolic death, well, yes, spoilers. Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows, say no more. Anyway, Sarah learns important things like sometimes life just isn't fair.
Not fair!
You say that so often. I wonder what your basis for comparison is.
It's not fair!
No, it isn't. But that's the way it is.
Getting things right doesn't always mean moving forward. Precision is very important in communication, and don't eat spiked fruit offered to you by strangers. During her initiation into the world of the Labyrinth, there are 3 leave your quest tests. 3 ways for Sarah to reject responsibility. 1. Just give up because it's too hard. 2. Give up for something new and exciting. We'll get there. 3. Give up for something old and familiar. Sarah doesn't give up even after hours in the Labyrinth. That's the first temptation.
She's in the oubliette. Shut up! She should not have gotten as far as the oubliette. She should have given up by now.
The second comes after a victory over the bog of eternal stench. She's jubilant but hungry, and she has forgotten one of the rules of fairyland. Don't eat the food. The drug peach gives us a Persephone, Snow White, Cinderella kind of thing. The second temptation is the new and exciting kind. The thing about the ballroom fever dream, well, there are lots of things to say. It starts like a Snow White meets Cinderella ripoff, the big white poofy 80s bridal dress and all. Look, this is neither white enough nor nearly poofy enough, but I'm pretty convinced you're just screwing with me at this point, so whatever. It's also vaguely debauched. Sarah is running around without a mask, the only one who is, true self on display to the world, looking for Jareth, I guess? By the way, Sarah's mother ran off with some actor who looks, familiar. And Sarah wants to be just like her mother. To be desired and desirable, to be recognised as a woman, as an adult, and so on and so forth. But in this case, that would mean abandoning her responsibilities for a man who plays with his crystal balls and throws phallic symbols at her, and wears criminally tight trousers. And it is a temptation, but they dance and he sings, and then the music stops and everyone is laughing at her, and she quite rightly freaks the hell out and breaks the bubble with a chair. Conspicuous CGI. In the novelisation, by the way, Jareth's a total creeper. I mean, it's not like he's king of moral upstandingness in the film, but at least he's not trying to sexually assault a minor. Mental scarring caused by those outfits notwithstanding. But she's too young for this to work. She's dressed like a fairy tale princess, not a grown woman, and she looks young in this sequence too, like she's playing dress up. Her stepmother thinks that she should have dates.
Well, I assume you'd tell me if you had a date. I'd like it if you had a date. You should have dates at your age.
But that's a far cry from goblin orgies, no? Sexuality is frightening to her, but it's also alluring, hence the pretty dresses juxtaposed with the demon masks. We get the simultaneous fear of and fascination with being desired that comes with Sarah's steps towards sexuality. That realisation of having something and not knowing whether you want it or not. Go with your sexuality, get your dreams and a snog from the Goblin King, but only if you give up the child. Like your mother did. But she is not a pretty fairy tale princess. She is taking on this creepy world in a waistcoat and jeans, and you are not going to distract her. The third temptation is going back to her life as it was, without the pressure of sexuality, but also without living up to her responsibilities. Rejection of childhood trinkets follows.
It's all junk. I have to save Toby!
After which the road of trials continues with facing your fears, using your brains, a humongous mecha, and Chekhov's rocks. Then, after quite a lot of running around, we come to a song, and the plot point that takes us to our climax. Your baby brother is about to take a header into the Escher room. Only one thing for it, Sarah. Jump. What happens now? Well, we're into stage 3, so come back next week and see.